Our topic is distance and length. The essential question is, what should you always know about distance and length? So there's a lot of reading on the first page, but there are a couple of blanks. And we got to start with that the distance between or the length of something will always be positive. So here's what I mean by that. So the distance between Moses Lake to Ephrata is about 20 miles. So if you go from Moses Lake to Ephrata, it's about 20 miles. Now if you travel the other way from Ephrata to Moses Lake, the distance is still about 20 miles. You'd never say negative 20 miles because distance is always positive, okay? So from here to here is 20 miles, and then from here to here is also 20 miles. So don't ever say negative. There's no negative distance, okay? Same with length. If the length from your kneecap to your heel is 18 inches, then the length from your heel to your kneecap, the other way, is also 18 inches. You never say negative 18 inches long, because length is also always positive, okay? Here's an example on a number line that kind of illustrates distance and length. So if I was wondering how far is it between negative 2 and 2, you just count the units. It's 1, 2, 3, 4 units. So there are 4 units between negative 2 and 2 on a number line, okay? That's a positive length because length and distance are always positive. All right, so here's for your summary. You might need to Google this, but approximately, what's the distance from Moses Lake to Spokane? Go ahead and Google that. And then using the same roads as number 1, what's the distance from Spokane to Moses Lake? Go ahead and write your answers right next to it. Okay, now the back. When finding the distance or length between numbers, it's helpful to use a number line or draw a sketch. So what's the distance between 5 and 12? So what you would do is you'd find 5 right here and 12 and find the distance between. So I like to just jump. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 units. That's the distance. Okay? What's the length between negative 3 and 5? So negative 3 and then that's positive 5. So if I see from here to here, that's 3 units. From here to here, that's 5 units. So 3 plus 5 is 8 units. Okay? I use 0 as kind of my little stopping point to help me with it. Or you can go like this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay? But when you have 0 in between, it's kind of easier to go like that. Okay, how far between negative 7 and negative 10? I intentionally left the number line blank because you need to make sure you write your number line correctly. There's so many times when students write it incorrectly. Just know the bigger number is further to the right. So which one's bigger, negative 7 or negative 10? Well, negative 7 is larger, so it's got to be further to the right. And you don't have to have 0 on your number line because these arrows signify that it goes on forever in either direction. So yeah, it'll eventually get to 0 if you go that way, okay? All right, so if I'm counting by ones and the number 1 unit larger than negative 7 is actually negative 6, then negative 5, then negative 4, negative 3, blah, 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 blah. Then this way would be negative 8, negative 9, negative 10, negative 11, blah, 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 blah. So we're concerned about between negative 7 and 10. So right here's my negative 7, right here's my negative 10, yeah. And we're going to find the distance between. So it's 1, 2, 3, 3 units. Okay? Now let's go with a story problem. You jumped from a cliff that was 60 feet above sea level and dove directly down 8 feet below sea level. At the bottom of your dive, how far are you from where you started? So if you want, you can draw a sketch. I also did give you this number line right here, so you can kind of hopefully visualize it a little better. So you jumped from a cliff that was 60 feet above sea level. Oh, this doesn't go all the way up to 60 feet. So you can kind of imagine it, or you can just draw a sketch. So here's my sketch, and I'm going to go ahead and put it right over here. So like, here's my water, and right there, that's right at 0, okay? And we're 60 feet above sea level, so that number would be like right up here, 60. And it's looking like we dove directly down 8 feet below sea level. So this was sea level, 8 feet, it's like right there. So that would be negative 8, okay? And they're asking at the bottom of your dive, so right here, how far are you from where you started? Well, you started up here, you dove down here, and remember how we have 0 in the middle right there for this particular problem, I can go, okay, from there to there, it's 60 feet. From there to there, it's 8 feet. So it's similar to problem number 2, where I can just go, okay, 60 plus 8 is 68 feet. We are 68 feet from where we started, okay? I didn't write the word units because they declare that the units are in feet, okay? All right, number 5. Grady is swimming 15 feet below sea level. He dives down an additional, oh, that means like adding to it, 12 feet. His brother Barrett is parasailing 20 feet above the water. How far apart are the two brothers? Okay, so let's go ahead and draw a sketch. So here's my water. We're making that 0, sea level. And Grady's 15 feet below sea level. So since it's below sea level, we're at negative 15. So he's right there chilling, swimming. And then he dives down an additional 12 feet. So we're going to go 12 more feet with that. So you're at negative 15. Then you'd be at negative 16, negative 17, negative 18, negative 19, negative 20, negative 21, negative 22, negative 23, negative 24, negative 25, negative 26, negative 27. Okay, so that's where Grady ended up. Do you see how we added 12 feet to that? So we're 15 feet here, we're gonna add 12 feet to that. Puts him currently at negative 27 feet. That's where he's at right now, okay? And his brother Barrett is parasailing, so he's up in the air. Parasailing means when you're like getting towed behind a boat, but you're up in the air with kind of like a parachute. And he's 20 feet above the water, so he's up there. Okay, so there's Barrett, and there's Grady after he dove down further. And we need to know how far apart are the two brothers. Okay, so think about that. The distance from here to here is 20 feet. Okay, and then the distance from right here to right here is 27 feet. I said distance, okay? Distance is always positive. So this length from here to here is 27 feet. So 20 feet plus 27 feet gets you 47 feet. That's how far apart they are. Okay, 24, they're 47 feet apart. Okay, now your job for the summary is to answer these. If you don't understand what's going on, make sure you have your number line to help you and review what I just talked about up here, because the answers to your summaries are always within the notes, on the same page basically. So number 6, and I do want you to write this out if it's not already written on your paper. What's the distance between 0 and 6 on a number line? So give me how many units it is. What's the distance between 0 and negative 6 on a number line? Give me how many units it is. What's the distance between negative 6 and 6 on a number line? Write down how many units that is. Then what's the distance between 5 and 16 on a number line? And then what's the distance between negative 5 and negative 16 on a number line? Okay? Bye.